good evening, and welcome again to another ASMR video. Tonight, as you can see, you're a little bit lower. That is because I'm going to be reading the book. This is The Legend of Spookley, the Square Pumpkin. I'm not sure if you guys ever watched the 3D animated movie of Spookley, but I actually didn't know that there was a book about Spookley. I thought it was just a 3D animated movie that they just made up. But it's right here. A Holiday Hill Farm book, written by Joe Troiano and illustrated by Susan Banta. Illustrated? Does that mean it's the art? It might mean that. One day in the pumpkin patch, the strangest little pumpkin hatched. Spookley the Square Pumpkin was different. All the other pumpkins teased him until Spookley proved that being different can save the day. I'm just reading the little back part here. If any of you ever have seen the Spookley 3D animated movie that was possibly inspired by this book, please say so in the comments. I would like to know how many people have seen the movie and not the book. So I guess this is going to be a little bit of a shorter video, which I hope you don't mind. But this is going to be it. I'm going to be reading The Legend of Spookley, the Square Pumpkin. One day in the pumpkin patch, the strangest little pumpkin hatched. Spookley wasn't like his friends, where they had curves, he had ends. Spookley was different. He was odd. He was rare. Spookley the pumpkin wasn't round. He was square. That's Spookley right there. And those are all the other pumpkins. Look at how far that pumpkin patch goes. It's a big pumpkin patch. While the round pumpkins had fun rolling along, poor Spookley sat there, shaped all wrong. He tried and tried with all his might, but he couldn't budge. He just sat tight. The other pumpkins teased him because he was square. Spookley wished he was round and could roll everywhere. That is, until one night, when they all discovered it's fine to be round when the weather is fair, but there are times it's better to be square. This is one of the pumpkins teasing poor Spookley right here. He ain't really enjoying it, as you can see. That one's laughing in the back. He's really tickled by whatever he's saying. What could he possibly be saying to Spookley? That. A seagull. The scarecrow. And a bat in the day? How strange. Halloween was just a day away when a mighty storm blew across the bay. It tossed the round pumpkins to and fro. It snapped their vines, then off they'd go. Bouncing left, slamming right, banging, bashing. What a sight. Spookley sat there filled with fright, but glad to be square that night. So I guess that explains the seagull. They're a bay town. This is the big storm, making a bunch of pumpkins thrash around and hit each other. And they're Spookley. Suddenly, the fence gave way. 3 pumpkins rolled out and into the bay. Oh my goodness, things are getting serious. Pumpkins are dying out here. Sorry. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that. It's a story time. Spookley knew what must be done. It was up to him. He was the one. He teetered, he tottered, he tipped, he tried, and finally he was on his side. Again he tipped, again he flopped, again he flipped, and then there's Spookley. He's actually moving around, though very floppily. He stopped. Right in the gap where the fence had snapped. He blocked the way. The hole was capped. All the pumpkins shouted, "Hooray!" Spookley the square pumpkin had saved the day. Then a pumpkin hit him with a whack. He thought his shell would start to crack. Then another one hit him with a thump, and another one with a smack. There's Spookley, saving the day. The illustrations are very nice. Shout out to Susan Banta. Very, very good art here. Then one by one, a ton of pumpkins piled on the stack, with a bang and a bash and a crunch and a crash, and then it all went black. Here's a bunch of pumpkins piling up on each other. Excuse me. At dawn, when the storm had stopped, the farmer came out and checked his crop. He picked up his pumpkins up one by one and laid them out in the warm, dry sun. And when the last was moved away, the farmer could see it would have saved the day. An odd-shaped pumpkin, short and dense, was wedged against the broken fence. Its shell was bruised, its stem was too, but there was a brave little Spookley sitting straight and strong and true. Right then and there, the farmer knew. Of all the seeds he'd ever sown, Spookleys were the most special that he had ever grown. There he is, finding Spookley. That little farmer. Can't tell if he's like 28 or 55. I can't tell. Don't matter though. And the next year, when it was time to sow, he sowed those seeds in every row. He watered and weeded and watched them grow. And oh, that morning about mid-June, when the pumpkin patch began to bloom, there were tiny pumpkins everywhere, hundreds and hundreds, most of them square. But they're square pumpkins, but do you see that? Something weird is happening. Sorry about that itchy ear. Some were cubes and some rectangular. Some were flat and others triangular. There was a bed of bright red ones and 2 rows of blue. There were polka-dotted pumpkins and rainbow ones too. There were thousands of colors and hundreds of shapes. Oh, what a garden variety makes! Look at all of these pumpkins. Could you imagine if there was a pumpkin patch like this in the real world? If pumpkins were able to have polka dots and to be shaped like that, that'd be so cool. And it would also probably be very creatively used by people who use pumpkins for jack-o'-lantern art and stuff. Now every year on Halloween, Spookley's patch is quite a scene. People come from far and near to see what wonders grew that year. They stop, they gawk, they gaze, they stare. Then they pick a pumpkin that's round, triangular, or perfectly square. Look at all that. Isn't that something? Now you know the story of how Spookley grew. Maybe someday you'll tell someone too. And they'll go tell someone who'll go tell another. And maybe one day we will all discover you can't judge a book or a pumpkin by its cover. And what a wonderful little send-off that is in this book. Isn't that cute? Thank you so much for listening and watching this ASMR video. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe, like, have to cough once, or comment. And I'll see you all again in the next ASMR